Hello, moviegoers! Welcome to another episode of CritiCarter, the show where I turn you into a cinephile. Last night I saw the midnight screening of Sherlock Holmes, A Game of Shadows, directed by Ritchie, co-written by Kieran and Michelle Maroney, and starring Robert Downey Jr., Jude, Noomi Rapace, Jared Harris, Stephen Fry, and Rachel McAdams. The film picks up a year after the events of the first Sherlock Holmes movie and finds Holmes in the midst of an epic conspiracy on the eve of Watson's wedding. Little does he know that trying to solve his latest mystery will bring him face to face with his most feared foe, Professor James Moriarty. First of all, let me say, everybody needs to see this movie for no other reason than the fact that there's a new trailer for The Dark Knight Rises up front, and it is remarkable. People applauded in the theater for this trailer, and out of all my years of seeing movies, that's never happened. Go pay your money to see Sherlock Holmes. Go see it. Obviously, if you plan on staying for the movie, make sure you've seen the first one. Obviously, I want you to stay for the sequel. This is actually a really good movie. The thing with sequels is what you're supposed to do, ideally. You take all the good things from the first movie and you make it bigger. That's what the Sherlock Holmes Game of Shadows is. You've got Robert Downey Jr. and Jude bringing that same chemistry that they had back in the first one as Holmes and Watson. All that terrific repartee. But they've bested that with... Rachel McAdams is in this movie, but Noomi Rapace, whom a lot of you will probably recognize from being the original girl with the dragon tattoo, she becomes the new female lead for this picture, playing a French gypsy woman. While McAdams as Irene Adler had her own kind of unique charm, including the backstory of what happened with her and Holmes before the movie took place, Rapace's character is a lot more dynamic and edgy, and I think that works really well with the film. In addition, the first film was limited to just London. The epic conspiracy is a pan-European event. You start out in England, and you're in France, and you're in Germany, and you're just all over the place. It's terrific. Absolutely terrific. Jared Harris, while he wasn't the first choice to play Moriarty in this film, and relatively unknown to me, did a great job as Moriarty. He's more than a match for Holmes, and is able to inhabit the role in exactly the right way. I was really surprised about Stephen Fry in this movie. He plays Mycroft, who, if you're familiar with any of the Holmes mythology, is traditionally depicted as Sherlock Holmes' smarter brother, except for the fact that he's kind of lazy and won't actually go out and solve crimes, but he's able to figure out things without overt observation, the way Holmes does. The film depicts him as either gay or asexual, and I'm not really sure where they drew that from. Like I said, I'm not too familiar with the character, I just know he exists. While it made for some interesting scenes, I don't know if that was a necessity. The film had plenty of jokes otherwise. You didn't need, Stephen Fry walking around au naturel. The script was very well written. It brought a lot of seemingly conflicting parts together very well. And unlike last week, I said I saw The Sitter, and there was a lot of coincidences going on where character A meets up with character B, even though character A shouldn't know how to find them, or things like that. Everything works in this movie. You have things that are brought up in the first act, they go by the wayside, but then they come back in the third act, and you're like, oh, that was that thing that I saw earlier. It works. It works perfectly. You never question anything in this film. And on top of that, a lot of people have taken Ritchie and his first film to task for the martial arts stuff as though that's not a part of the Holmes legend, because they think about the movie version of Holmes, who was always running around in his deer stalker saying, "Elementary, my dear Watson," even though that's not in any of the books. But if you've actually read the stories, you know that there's many references to multiple forms of martial arts that Holmes is familiar with. So you see that same kind of fighting style in this film as you saw in the first one. And there are a lot of other references to very specific, very famous Holmes stories. And saying anything more than that will spoil the film, so I'll stop there. This film does Holmes bigger and better than the first one, so I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 top-hatted geniuses. You can catch last week's review of The Sitter over here, and next week I'll be seeing David Fincher's English language version of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, so I have that linked over here when the review's up.
I want to see that movie.
7 o'clock, Tuesday night, Oaks.
Invite me.
What did I just do? And it is now officially award season. As I'm recording this right now, the past 2 days have seen the Golden Globe nominations and the Screen Actors Guild nominations. So I've got a lot of films to catch up on that I wasn't able to see in theaters. So, hopefully good fortune will smile upon me and I'll be sent screeners in the mail like I'm some actual film reviewer. Maybe? No? Okay. I'll try and catch up on what I can. Make sure you keep an eye on my Facebook, facebook.com/CritiCarter, Tumblr, criticarter.tumblr.com, and Twitter, Twitter.com/CritiCarter. All the links are always down below.
I thought your Tumblr was CritiCarter.com.
No, my main site is CritiCarter.com, and that has all the written reviews plus the videos.
Oh, okay.
So, but keep an eye on that, because that, if you're just at CritiCarter.com all the time, you'll get everything. You'll get the videos from here, you'll get my written reviews for the indie films, everything you could ever want from me, CritiCarter.com. That's the place to go. In fact, tomorrow I'll be watching My Week with Marilyn, the multiple award-nominated film starring Michelle Williams and Kenneth Branagh as Marilyn Monroe and Laurence Olivier. Make sure to give me a big old thumbs up if you like this video, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Fade to black!